Good morning and welcome to All Souls Church. My name is Don Swanson and I'm this week's service assistant. We begin with a few practical pieces of welcome to this service over Zoom. First, we ask that you stay muted to help reduce background noise unless you're actively speaking with everyone, such as during our sharing of joys and concerns. You can mute or unmute in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. If you're on a phone, you can mute or unmute by pressing *6. If you're using a personal computer, you can unmute by holding down your space bar while you speak. If you're new to All Souls Church, please take a moment to click the link in the order of service and the chat for our connection card so we can stay in touch. During the service, please feel free to get up, move around, or take a break from the screen as you need to, but try to be present as possible. And imagine we're all in the same room together. We're recording the service, so if you don't want to have your face on the recording, now's the time to turn off your video. Welcome to this morning, to this day, and this opportunity to be together in community, which is a time of joy, comfort, and sometimes challenges. This Unitarian Universalist congregation is a place where we come to learn more about being human. We're not here because we've figured out life's questions or because we think we got it right. We come here to learn more about being in relationship together, how to listen, how to forgive, how to be vulnerable, and how to create trust and compassion in one another. Let us move into our service willing to be authentic with each other, honest within ourselves, and opening to connection in all its forms. We light our flaming chalice with words from Leslie Takahashi. All that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create. A deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we share. And we follow the All Souls tradition of lighting a green candle, symbolic of our commitment to being a green sanctuary congregation. May both these flames call us to kinship with and great care for the earth and her living creatures. As we center our hearts, let's sing our chalice song for January. Rise up, O flame.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Vision and joy, by thy light glowing, by thy light beauty, vision and beauty, vision and joy.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Martin Luther King Day weekend. Our opening words are from the Reverend Ashley Horan. Another world is possible. We say it again and again, even when the proof lies somewhere beyond the horizon, beyond our reach, beyond our imagination. This is our faith. Another world is possible. Not somewhere else, another world, another lifetime, but here and now, for us and for all. Another world is possible. There is no single path toward that world, no one strategy or approach that will restore balance, heal brokenness, sow wholeness, free creation. There are many routes toward liberation, toward freedom. But the abundance of options does not absolve us of the responsibility of acting. Another world is possible. The call, the duty of each moment in history is to discern who we are and what we can bring with humility, integrity, and faith. What is the context, and how can we address it with agility, resilience, and resilience and skill? What is the vision, and how can we realize it with accountability, relationship, joy? Another world is possible. In this time of despair, of fear, of collapse, this time that is both like every other era and like no other time in history, it is audacious to declare our faith and to commit our work to a world that is more free, more just, more whole. But we are an audacious people in good company with many kin, and we are ready to show up and work hard and stay humble and make friends and hold the vision, starting here, now, today, with us, and persevering however long it takes until that other world is not only possible, but another world is here. So may it be. With this hope and this vision in mind, we sing our opening hymn, The Fire of Commitment. I invite you to join in singing heartily, but while muted, knowing that our voices are joining together in song.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims to be witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when the hunger of our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our beyond our way. When we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
As a spiritual community, we journey together through life's ups and downs and hold each other in love. We take this time to reflect on our week, to recall the milestones, the joys, the concerns, the sorrows, the changes in our lives, and those in need of healing. If you have a heartfelt milestone, joy or sorrow you'd like to share, you're invited to share aloud or in the chat. If you'd like to share, you can off-mute again by pressing the mute off mute in the lower left corner of your screen, or pressing *6 if you're calling in. Please share your name and briefly express what's on your heart. If you're having trouble unmuting, give us a wave and we'll try to unmute you from this end. After each person shares, Reverend Joe will drop a stone in water, symbolic of the water gathered and blessed in this year's water ceremony. Please know that this section won't end up in the final recording. What's shared now is kept only here, in real time. All are welcome to share now.
I'll drop one final stone to remember and to rejoice. I invite us to center our hearts, both rooting down and lifting up the hopes and prayers that were spoken and that we hold with Linda Horshorn's song, Circle Round for Freedom. We'll share again the beautiful version by Dr. Glenn Thomas Rideout. I invite you to sing along in hope and in prayer.
Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for its soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for its soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned. Circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole.
I invite you to join me in a time of meditation and prayer, first in words, then in silence, then in melody. Our prayer is by the Reverend Wayne Arneson. Spirit of life, we have come into each other's presence this day, seeking a part of ourselves, knowing that we do not live alone, and knowing we cannot live fully if we are for ourselves alone. We gather in thanks for the life and ministry of Martin Luther King Jr., not because we wish to worship him as a saint, but because we wish to embody his dream as a possibility that we make real. We gather with full knowledge of our shortcomings. Our lives set before us many tasks, and often we're not equal to them. We fall short of our own expectations. We find we do not know enough. We are not always patient. We fall into anger. We cannot find the strength. We lack the vision. We wait in vain for wisdom. It is painful to acknowledge our shortcomings, yet we are here, Spirit of life. We are here, not always perfect, not always wise, not always just, but wonderfully and mysteriously human and alive. We dedicate this time together to renewing our hope. May the stories we share give us courage. May the songs we sing give us hope. May the words we speak give us wisdom. And most of all, may the sight of faces, the sound of voices, and the reminders of connections restore in us faith that this world may be made whole, with all its people one. Amen. And let us be in shared silence. Thank you, John. Our reading this morning is an excerpt from Dr. King's Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech in 1964. We'll share it in his own words with a video clip from his speech. Just based on the nature of how the video was cut, it does start with a view of the crowd and not of Dr. King. I promise the video does get to his face at some point. So if that bothers you the way it bothered me, fear not. I invite us to take in his words as our text of inspiration this morning.
I accept this award today with an abiding faith in America and an audacious faith in the future of mankind. I refuse to accept despair as the final response to the ambiguities of history. I refuse to accept the idea that the isness of man's present nature makes him morally incapable of reaching up for the eternal oughtness that forever confronts him. I refuse to accept the idea that man is mere flotsam and jetsam in the river of life, unable to influence the unfolding events which surround him. I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I refuse to accept the cynical notion that nation after nation must spiral down a militaristic stairway into the hell of nuclear annihilation. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right temporarily defeated is stronger than evil triumphant. I believe that even amid today's mortar bursts and whining bullets, that is still hope for a brighter tomorrow. I believe that wounded justice, lying prostrate on the blood-flowing streets of our nations, can be lifted from this dust of shame to reign supreme among the children of men. I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. I believe that what self-centered men have torn down, men other-centered can build up. I still believe that one day mankind will bow before the altars of God and be crowned triumphant over war and bloodshed and nonviolent redemptive goodwill, proclaim the rule of the land, and the lion and the lamb shall lie down together, and every man shall sit under his own vine and fig tree, and none shall be afraid. I still believe that we shall overcome.
I just want to soak that in for a moment. Beloveds, for generations, this congregation of All Souls has been a place where we can be reminded of our highest aspirations, where we can dream and imagine and build a better world together. With our love, care, and generosity, All Souls Church will continue to be a community of audacious dreamers for generations yet to come. If you are able to give financially to support this congregation this morning, you're invited to do so by donating on our website or sending in a check. Links and addresses will be in the chat and are in the order of service. Our offertory song this morning is one of resolve. The song, Sing Out, March On, was written in honor of the late Representative John Lewis. And this morning, we celebrate all those who have committed themselves to nonviolent activism and to building a more just world for all. An offering to support this congregation will now be gratefully received. Thank you.
Well, I marched through the storm, and I marched through the rain, and I marched through some sickness and some heartache and pain. And I laid on the ground, and I looked up at the sky, and I prayed to the Lord up above and asked why. But oh no, I'm not tired, I'm not through marching yet, and I'm a-marching till I die. Oh children, this you can bet. So we say, I'm gonna sing out, and I'm gonna march on. And everybody said, I'm gonna sing out, gonna march on, I'm gonna march on, gonna put one foot in front of the other foot, yes I am. I'm gonna sing out, gonna march on, I'm gonna march on. I got to keep on keeping on, yes I have, gonna march on, I'm gonna march on. Oh well, my grandmama marched, and my granddaddy too, and I never thought it'd be something that I have to do, but I'll march if I must. I got a mission, you see, and I'll be damned if my children have to march for me. Now I believe in the power of raising my voice, and I believe in the power of making some noise. Now if I die, I can't sing, and if I can't sing, I'll die. So we should sing for one another. Now let's give it a try. So we say, I'm gonna sing out. Oh, I got to keep on keeping on, keep on marching on.
If that is what is stuck in your head for the next week, we will be in good shape. I'm gonna sing out, and I'm gonna march on. A friend of mine was going into work one day. He was the head of a department at a college, and he was going to be interviewing someone for a job that morning. So he dressed up a little nicer than usual, a button-up shirt and a tie. He got into the elevator in his building, and then another man got in just before the doors closed. The man leaned over to push the button for his floor and then looked up and saw my friend and did a little twinge and moved as far away as he could within the confines of the elevator. The man clutched his briefcase with both hands and got out of the elevator the second that the door opened. You may have guessed, my friend is Black. The man was white. My friend shook his head with a kind of laugh/grimace and went down the hall to his office to get ready for the interview. I'll give you guys one guess as to who was brought into the office as the job applicant. Yeah, this elevator guy, and he did not get the job. What did the man in the elevator imagine to be true about my friend, a Black guy in a tie? Whether he realized he was doing it or not, his actions, wincing, clutching the briefcase, staying as far away as possible, and then rushing out, all make me think that he imagined my friend as threatening. Something in his brain told him Black man equals dangerous. We are all caught up in a society that imagines danger in difference. Terry Marshall of the organization Intelligent Mischief describes it this way. The world that we live in right now is someone else's imagination. We are living inside of someone else's imagination that told us that white is superior, men are superior, able bodies are superior, being straight is superior. You might say that we are in an imagination battle. This is a phrase that I learned from the writer, author, and activist Adrienne Marie Brown. In her book, Emergent Strategy, she wrote, Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown and Renisha McBride and so many others are dead because in some white imagination, they were dangerous. And that imagination is so respected that those who kill based on an imagined, radicalized fear of Black people are rarely held accountable. In words that are right on point for the insurrection we saw on January 6th, Brown continues, imagination has people thinking that they can go from being poor to a millionaire as part of a shared American dream. Imagination turns brown bombers into terrorists and white bombers into mentally ill victims. Imagination gives us borders, gives us superiority, gives us race as an indicator of ability. Brown concludes, I often feel I am trapped inside someone else's capability. I often feel I'm trapped inside someone else's imagination, and I must engage my own imagination in order to break free. This weekend, in which we honor the work and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., is the perfect time to ask ourselves what we are imagining into existence. Because what we imagine, the stories that we create about ourselves and other people, has both consequences and possibilities. And what we imagine about the future, the vision that we're working toward, helps us take just action to build the world we dream of. And what was Dr. King's most famous speech? I have a dream, from the 1963 March on Washington. A powerful, nonviolent protest dedicated to a shared vision of a more just world for all, not just for some. It was a dream deeply rooted in a different understanding of the American dream. What did Dr. King say? I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Dr. King painted such a vivid picture of the world he was working for. One where the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners would be able to sit down at the table of brotherhood. One where his 4 little children could be judged not by the color of the skin, but by the content of their characters. Where even in the places filled with the most vicious racists and bigoted politicians, even in those places, he had a vision of little Black children able to join hands with white children as siblings. If America is to be a great nation, Dr. King said, this must become true. Did you hear Dr. King's imagination in the Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech we heard too? I refuse to accept the view that humanity is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and kinship can never become a reality. Instead, he had the audacity to imagine, to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. That what self-centered people have torn down, other-centered people can build up. This is a call to us to use our imaginations well. Notice the reactions and the assumptions that come up for you in your day-to-day life. Are they based in a cultural imagination that believes that white is superior, men are superior, able bodies are superior, being straight is superior? Just notice it. And then ask yourself, is this the world that I want to imagine into existence? If not, choose a different action. The guy in the elevator having an initial jolt of startlement could have been any of us. Our brains have been formed in a society that imagines danger in difference, and first reactions can take a while to change. But elevator guy could have noticed that first cringe response that he had, reminded himself that that's not how he wants the world to be. He could chuckle at himself, look his fellow elevator passenger in the eye, and ask how his day is going. Every time we reorient ourselves to the world that we want to see and act accordingly, 2 things happen. 1, our brains start to learn this new pattern. And while I can't explain the science behind neuroplasticity, new connections are built in our brain every time we choose kindness and connection, which make it that much easier for our first response to be kindness and connection next time. And 2, every action in service to a vision for a more just, equitable world brings that world closer into existence. What we imagine, we build. So when we are faced with an increasingly vocal and violent group of citizens whose imagined world is about supremacy and exclusion, we need to be bolder and braver with our own visions, to keep justice, equity, and compassion as our compass, and to take the actions they point to. Another world is possible. I close with a poem from Aurora Levins Morales. Imagine winning. This is your sacred task. This is your power. Imagine every detail of winning. The exact smell of the summer streets in which no one has been shot. The muscles you have never unclenched from worry, gone soft as newborn skin. The sparkling taste of food when we know that no one on earth is hungry, that the beggars are fed, that the old man under the bridge and the woman wrapping herself in thin sheets in the back seat of a car, and the children who suck on stones nest under a flock of roofs that keep multiplying their shelter. Lean in with all your being towards the day when the poor of the world shake down a rain of good fortune out of the heavy clouds, and justice rolls down like waters. Defend the world in which we win as if it were your child. It is your child. Defend it as if it were your lover. It is your lover. When you inhale and when you exhale, breathe the possibility of another world into the 37.2 trillion cells of your body until it shines with hope. Then imagine more. Imagine rape is unimaginable. Imagine war is a scarcely credible rumor. That the crimes of our age, the grotesque inhumanities of greed, the sheer and astounding shamelessness of it, the vast fortunes made by stealing lives, the horrible normalcy of it the horrible normalcy it came to have is unimaginable to our heirs, the generations of the free. Don't waver. Don't let despair sink its sharp teeth into the throat with which you sing. Escalate your dreams. Make them burn so fiercely that you can follow them down any dark alleyway of history and not lose your way. Make them burn clear as a starry drinking gourd over the grim fog of exhaustion, and keep going. Hold hands, share water, keep imagining, so that we and the children of our children's children may live. So may it be. Amen. And we lift our voices together in that vision of a land of justice, equity, and compassion. We'll sing the African American spiritual, "Come and Go With Me to That Land."
Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm born, where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. gone, when I'm gone, they'll be singing in that land. They'll be singing in that land. They'll be singing in that land where I'm gone.
Our closing words come to us from the former president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, Reverend Bill Sinkford. Spirit of life and love, dear God of all nations, there is so much work to do. We have only begun to imagine justice and mercy. Help us hold fast to our vision of what can be. May we see the hope in our history and find the courage and the voice to work for that constant rebirth of freedom and justice. That is our dream. So may it be, and amen. Our postlude today is the song If You're Out There by John Legend, as covered by my bandmate from the Sanctuary Boston, Alex Pham, and her mother, Suzanne Dicker, on violin and cello.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling everybody all across the land. We're the generation, we can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday, and we're already late. We've been looking for a song to sing, search for a melody, search for someone to lead. We've been looking for the world to change. If you feel the same, well, go on and say, if you're out there, sing along with me. If you're out there, I'm dying to believe. If you're out there, stand up and say it loud. If you're out there, tomorrow starting now. all to wait. The future started yesterday, and we're already late. Hey, that was not bad.
All right, our final sacred ritual of the day is that of announcements. Let me pull it up here so that I don't get anything wrong. Following this, there will be some time for social hour in breakout rooms. We'll do maybe 2 breakout rooms. If you want to check in, share how you're doing, what's on your minds and hearts, or what came up for you from the service, that'll be a great time to do that and to connect. But there are a lot of other ways to stay connected with the All Souls community this week. It's happened. Monday night, we will be having our Board of Trustees meeting. All of these happen on Zoom, just FYI, and the link is on the front page of our website. Tuesday at 3:30 is our midday meetup connection circle. If you want to come and chat and connect with folks, it's a great way to do it. Wednesday evening at 6:30, after you've watched the inauguration, which will go very smoothly and joyously, you're welcome to come to the development committee meeting. And Sandra, I wonder if you're able to unmute, if you're willing to give us like 1 or 2 sentences about what y'all are going to be up to so that folks know whether they might want to come to that. If you're free and available.
Can you hear me?
We can.
First time using a computer instead of a phone.
That sounds great.
So we're going to try to come up with some fun or fundraising ideas that we can do over the winter through development. So any ideas that you have would be great, whether it's doing a trivia or whether you know of a restaurant that might still be doing fundraising on takeout orders. Can be something little like that or something like a big evening plan that people can participate in. So if you have any ideas, please join us or get your ideas to us.
Thank you, Sandra. Perfect. Thursday evening will be the Sunday Service and Music Committee meeting. So if you're interested in thinking about what it is we do together on these Sunday mornings, you're welcome to come and join for that. And then Friday at 10 is coffee hour. So seriously, something every day this week. And then this coming Sunday, the 24th, will be a community Sunday service. So that's a lay-led service that's often a little more interactive. And this is going to be led by the Social Action and Environmental Committee. So I think it's going to be really wonderful, special, and engaging, and encourage you all to come for that. Is there any major announcement that I missed? Just giving a quick glance around my gallery view here to make sure. Oh, Maureen, please.
This is not directly related to the church, but tomorrow from 2 to 4 outside of the First Parish in Quincy, the group which is sponsoring the Black Lives Matters standout is having a Martin Luther King Day standout from 2 to 4.
Oh, great. Thank you. I didn't know about that. I'm going to see if I can get that into our weekly email from Maggie, because I think that'd be great to be able to advertise, or we'll at least put the details on our Facebook page, which, by the way, if you're on Facebook and you don't already follow All Souls Church, that's a great place to find out what we're up to. Friends, thank you for being together. Thank you for all of you who helped contribute to today's service, to Mary for ushering, to Jacob for the music, to Don for being our service assistant, to Alicia and Nikki for doing tech, and to you all for being here. Thank you.